Alright, so in previous video we were able to import our field book and have it draw all of our line work for you and the point data. So let's look at why it drew the stuff it did. If I go in and look at a point, I can hover over the line and see that this used the field code ESW. That's how it chose its feature definition. If I actually want to find that feature definition in my list, I can come over, highlight my all point features, go to details, find my point in my list that has that code ESW, and I can go over to the feature definition column and I can get a full path to where that feature definition is um, in my feature definitions. So this one's survey, roadway, sidewalk, back. So I'm done with my details here. I'm going to hit the details button again at the top to dismiss that. And I'm going to go to that path in my roadway standards, in my feature definitions, survey, roadway, and here is my existing edge of pavement. And so my linear feature symbology, that's controlling it, that's making this dashed magenta line. The point feature that I see here, this plus symbol here, is this E survey point um, symbology. So I'm telling it to put a point as well as line work on there. And if I go look at the feature symbology for that E survey point, I happen to know that that's in the existing, let's see, points and then control eSurvey point, and that's telling it to use a element template of survey point control eSurvey point. And again, if I go look at that element template, I can see that it's telling it to put a point there. So we'll go to survey point and control eSurvey point. Here's the plus sign, here's the color. So we'll dismiss that now that we know where it's coming from. And then the next thing is these annotations here. These are actually now called decorators. If I go to the Analyze tab, I can turn on, currently have the name on, so I can toggle the name. I can turn on which feature it is, and I can control which elevation. This is hard-coded as to where they're putting those in. I have a little bit of control over the size and the color of those decorators. If I want to change that, I can go to File and Settings, and then go to my User Preferences. So User Preferences. In the View Option Civil, there is a whole section dedicated to survey decorators. And that's where we have the name, color defined, the scale, transparency, the feature, the elevation. So all those items that show up as decorators are going to be controlled here in the user preferences. And then for some elements, like I'll go up here to my control point. My control point feature definition is calling for some annotation to happen for my control points. So we'll go look at that. That's going to be one of these eSurvey monuments. And I have an annotation group on this called point, topo point label. So my annotation group down here, my topo point label, is going to be under here, point, survey, topo point label. And I can look at what it's going to put there. It's going to put text. I have different options. So the text it's going to put there is the text favorite, and the text favorite is going to put certain attributes about that point there. So I can, since it has an annotation group on it, I can go and do um, in my Drawing Productions tab up here. I can click on Drawing Production and I can do my model annotation and just say annotate this model. And since there is an annotation group defined for that feature definition, it's going to draw some annotation in there. My text favorite's telling it to put the point number of the feature code, northing, easting elevation. I also have some annotation going on these lines here. So now that I have all the annotations displayed in plan view for points and for lines, I can come back over to the survey tasks and go to the point features. If I right click on that, I can go and turn off the point annotations, and that'll turn them off. Or I can turn those back on and then go and turn off the linear annotations. Um, this is available after I run the model annotation, then I can come in here and control the annotations after the fact.